What's up, everyone? This is your girl April from Absolutely April, and I am coming today. I'm actually catching up. I'm a little behind, but I wanted to come with the Married to Medicine review. It's Contessa versus Heavenly. It's Toya versus Anila. So let's get into the talk for Married to Medicine. I'd like you to like this video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Um, I'm going to be doing reviews on Married at First Sight, Married to Medicine, and Properly Ready to Love. So check out my videos and make sure you hit that bell to get notified. Let's get into the review. So we are gonna talk about Married to Medicine. I love Married to Medicine. This is actually season 9, and this season is a lot. I mean, it's a lot of it. Basically, this season is going to be them, everyone versus Heavenly, or Heavenly versus Contessa. I don't really know, but it's definitely Heavenly's turn to get the brunt of everything. And last season, it was Dr. Contessa and Scott. Now it's about to be Contessa versus Heavenly. So let's get into the review. So on the first season, on the first episode, let's see, it started out with Jackie and Simone. They were reconciling. So that, they talked about them being on the same team now that they've reconciled, um, and that they just had to put their pettiness aside. Simone said Jackie had to humble herself and she had to get off the petty boat. And I totally agree. I'm so glad that they squashed this beef because I was definitely tired of the Jackie and Simone beef. It was getting exhausting. And to me, it was basically, I felt like Simone wanted to be Jackie's one and only friend. And the fact that Dr. Jackie made friends with Dr. Heavenly, and she kind of felt like she got slighted in that whole thing. It just caused a whole mess. So I feel like that was the core of it. Simone's feelings was hurt. Jackie's feelings was hurt with the Buffy thing. So that was the whole gist of the whole thing. So I'm glad they've reconciled. They were driving together, and they arrived at Dr. Jackie's house, and Curtis and Cecil were there, and they kind of had a little banter going back and forth about the Gran Turismo car. It was really cute. I enjoyed seeing the crew back together, and then at the end, Curtis and Cecil end up going to Magic City to get wings. So okay, so that was cool. The next, it went to showing that Contessa was doing a body competition, a fitness competition, and I love that Contessa is doing the fitness competition. I actually thought of doing bodybuilding at one point. I don't think I would have the discipline enough to do it, but I feel like this is a great thing for Contessa. I enjoy seeing her. Um, Contessa is body goals. Let's just say that much. And she looked amazing. The Scott arrives with the girls. I think the kids. I think all the kids were together. So they came in and saw Contessa outside in her bathing suit with a man. And one of the kids said something about, "Who is that man with my daddy?" So with my mommy. That's not my daddy or something like that. So she's very protective. And honestly, I was like that too. So that was a younger version of myself. I probably would have did said something like that at her age. So I could be mad at it. It seems like Scott and Contessa are in a better place. So I'm glad to see that. I really hope that they are working on their issues and not sweeping things under the rug, because it will come back to, it will manifest itself again if it doesn't get taken care of. So I can't wait to see how Scott and Contessa move forward from last season, because last season was a big old, it was a mess. So I definitely want to see them progress, just like Cecil and Simone seem to have progressed past their differences. Then it went to Quad and her beautiful house. She has 14,000 square feet, all for little old Quad. But it appears that her nephew Mason, who's 6 years old, moved in, and Mason is like, he's so adorable. He's so cuddly. I enjoyed watching them going back and forth. Now, what tugged at my heartstrings was when Quad spoke to him about not focusing in school. Uh, she asked what he was thinking about, and the whole thing was he was missing his dad. So I get it. So I can definitely understand that. And Quad's mother was there, Miss Mary. She was there and she broke down as well. So I understand grief very well. I lost my husband, and so my son, who is also 6 years old, he constantly talks about his dad. So I can totally understand where Quad and Mason and Miss Mary are at this point. Um, it's just it's just something you have to work out. Grief ebbs and flows, and it comes and goes. Someday you could be totally fine, and the next day, one day you might hear a song on the radio and just break down crying. So it's you have to. My biggest tip with grief is to make feel all the feelings. Don't hold back. Don't try to, like, I'm just going to move forward and not think about it. Don't do that, because it's going to, if you don't deal with the grief, I always say, if you don't deal with your grief, it will deal with you, and it will come out, it will manifest in other ways. So that's my tip on that. And I love to see that Quad was stepping in for her nephew and becoming a momty. So that was amazing to see. And I can't wait to see more of Quad and Mason and her mother. So I'm looking forward to that. After that, we go to Anila getting ready for her house blessing. Um, she and Karen, her husband, Dr. Karen, let me put some respect on his name, is Dr. Karen, speak about it took 3 years for them to build their house. Um, I can't imagine. Honestly, I can't imagine. I built two houses, and it takes about a year, but 3 years is a bit much. So I can't imagine waiting 3 years. She went $1.5 million over budget. I mean, and Dr. Karen did not seem happy about it. He did not seem happy about it, and I wouldn't either. And I don't, yeah. Some things I just ended up, like, for instance, when I built my house, some things I was like, let me just get this, whatever the standard is, and then I can renovate and do it the way I want to. Like Quad renovated her house. She bought her house. She didn't build it. That's the difference. But she ended up just, putting the money in the renovation. So I probably would have, just to get in the house and to save money, I would have just kind of did it that way, just kind of went in and got some of the standard things and then upgraded it. But I can understand either way. Get what you want. Because I mean, it's your home and you got to be happy in your home. So get what you want. But $1.5 million over budget is quite a bit. So, yeah, Dr. Karen, my heart goes out to you. Now, they spoke about how what the cow represents to Hindu culture. So that I love to see that the cow ended up pooping, and it was an old nasty poop. So I was just like, ugh. And they were like, who's gonna clean it up? And I was like, right, who's gonna clean it up? Because that stuff right there looked like it stinks. It was just nasty. Someone did clean it up, but Anila's mom said that was something they use poop as well in their ritual. So I guess, every to each their own. Then we go to Toya, and I mean, when I say production shaded Toya, they shaded Toya. They showed Toya's old house and then a big soul sign. And so Toya, yet again, another season, has moved. So she's moved to a rental in the same neighborhood. She says that she sold her house because it wasn't big enough for her family, for two kids, and she and Eugene. I don't know what they got to do. That house was huge. She had a two-story. Um, she had a two-story closet, and everything was immaculate and beautiful. So I don't understand, you know, a nice a nice pool. She started decorating and getting furniture for it, and then all of a sudden she felt like it wasn't enough room, and she said it didn't have an elevator, and she didn't wasn't able to get a tennis court. However, in that community, and I'm aware in that community that it has a tennis, it's like a tennis community. So why would you need a tennis court when the whole community has tennis? I think it has more than one, it has an inside and outside tennis court. So that's just, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that was an excuse from Toya. I feel like she might be trying to keep up with the Joneses, and maybe she just wants to. I think in Atlanta, period, people have a bad habit of wanting to stunt for the gram, want to keep up with the Joneses, because it's so many times you see people with their, they may have a luxury high value car, but staying in an apartment in the hood. I mean, and nothing's wrong with that, but it's kind of like, what's your priorities, in my opinion. So comment down below and see tell me what you think about Toya and her moving situation and finding another uh, another home. Also, she said she's going to move into her home in April of 2023. So I don't know where she's moving. Um, it appeared that wherever she was moving, it looked like it was a lake around there. So I don't know. We shall see, because I know there could be near the Chattahoochee, or it could be, somewhere else where there's a lake. I believe there's a lake in Henry County. So I don't know where Toya's moving, but I'm pretty sure she will come back another season and we will see it. Um, Dr. Eugene and Toya also had this little back and forth about how Toya yells all the time, and she said that was basically what you do in Black families. And I can definitely say that in my family it gets quite loud. And I know when my husband first met my family, he made mention, he was like, I think they're in there arguing. And I was like, huh? And so when I came, when I stuck my head, I was like, no, they just talking. And it sounds to someone else that, yeah, it sounds like they're arguing. They just talk loud. And we're from the country. So it's like, and then you get excited and it just gets louder and louder and louder. So I'm used to it, but when he came and heard it, he thought they were out there arguing. So I thought that was hilarious. So Eugene talked about, wanting peace when he came home, and I can definitely understand that. Coming from let's see. I'm sorry, I didn't put my slides up. I got to get it together, honey. We talk about Toya. So she we what was I saying? Yeah, sometimes you have to be a little bit more peaceful when your man come home, like especially if he's Eugene kind of to me, Eugene puts stuff off like a joke, but he's kind of also serious, and he really wants that from Toya. So I feel like he needs to be a little bit more direct with Toya, so he could tell, and tell her like, look, when I come home, I would like it to be a little bit more peaceful, and without all the yelling, kind of ease me on into that. So I think he meant it, but he was kind of joking at the same time. So it can just being married, things can get misconstrued if you're not being very direct and honest with how you feel. So I hope they can I hope they can work that out, because coming home or dreading to come home is not the business. Um, Toya also talked about how Anila's son dropped off the invitation to Anila's housewarming party, and she was like, "Is that shady or nah?" And Eugene was like, "Well, if I'm inviting you somewhere, that means I want you to be there." So that's definitely, I'm glad he talked Toya off the ledge because it could have went a whole different way, and Toya could have gotten her feelings about that. Then we going over to Anila's Diwali party, and Quad was over there getting glammed up. It seems like Quad and Anila are getting closer, so I like to see that. Um, then Contessa and Scott, they're getting ready as well. Contessa and Scott talked about, made mention that why do they have to go dressed in the saris and the stuff, the Indian attire. He's like, we don't request people to wear dashikis. He's like, or I would have an issue with someone coming to my house wearing dashikis. But I feel like Scott, that's kind of like apples and oranges because they want you to come. They're inviting you to come. That's different for someone just showing up to your house wearing a dashiki. It's the theme of the party. They wanted everyone in the Indian attire, and if you couldn't wear it, like I wish I would have just instead of the Party City Egyptian costume, just wear something regular like that. It did look good for Contessa and Scott. Um, I saw that Curtis, Cecil, Simone, and Jackie, they rode together. So they're still hanging tight. We're seeing that the whole makeup between Jackie and Simone, it appears to be legit. So we will see Audra and Martin came with Dr. Heavenly. So they've been introduced to the crew. So Audra didn't do much in this episode, but I feel like, as it goes along, she will start being more vocal. Um, Now, Dr. Heavenly, she saw some woman in Dr. Damon's face, and you know how Heavenly gonna do. She's gonna say, "Why's that man all in my man face and stuff?" So, I think it's partially Dr. Heavenly. I think she does it just to. I think she just be she. I think she does it to be funny. Um, I don't know if she really means. I know she. I know she feels like Dr. Damon's not going anywhere. So, um, I think she's just trying to be funny about the whole situation, which is cool with me. But she did say, and I think she was very serious about the female. He don't need no female friends. I'm the only friend he needs. And I can see why she would say that because sometimes that can cause issue in a relationship. Like, few seasons back where Cecil had a friend and Simone wasn't feeling that friend and it caused issues in their relationship to the point where they almost got a divorce. So yeah, it can definitely cause an issue with a man having female friends, especially if that female friend is not friends with the wife. Like it should be like we should be all friends together. And if you need to get a message to my husband, filter the message through me or put us on a group text. Like, it's just out of respect. That's me, and that's my opinion. Heavenly, and Carrie was there, and of course Carrie had something to say, and Heavenly was like, she she took the quote from Waiting to Exhale. You, on the other hand, should be worried about your man Carrie. So she she definitely broke Carrie down on that, and all Carrie could do is look. So yeah. So it goes on to, if I'm looking down, I'm reading my notes. Dr. Karen, the DJ introduces Anila and Dr. Karen, and Dr. Karen had to correct the DJ to say, "I am Dr. Saja," and the DJ kept calling him Karen. So he was, so that was a big issue, and I understand a lot of doctors like to be referred to them by their title. So I get it. Um, Toya and Eugene arrived to the party 2 hours late in their golf cart, and they stay in the same community. Now, having kids myself, I can definitely say that it could be a number of issues of why they arrived late. Hopefully, it wasn't just to be shady. So, yeah, we're gonna leave that there. But they did show 2 hours late, but they did come get there, and they showed up in their golf cart. Um, Jackie had to reprimand Carrie because Anila is showing people around her nice home. Because let me tell you, Anila's home is perfection, beautiful home. Um, Carrie is walking down the steps and putting her hands on the wall, and and Dr. Jackie was like, "Use the rail, Carrie." Thank you, Dr. Jackie. Thank you. Don't just go putting your hands on. My son puts his hands all over my wall. To this day, I have like handprints, and it gets under my skin. So for a grown woman to put her hand on the wall, yes, Jackie, you should have put her in her place. Um, So the men get together and they're talking, and Scott tells them that he and Contessa are in a better place. So I love to see that. Um, they kind of throw shade now. They're saying that, oh, Dr. Damon and Heavenly, they have the perfect marriage, and I feel like they were just trying to throw shade at them. But I feel like Dr. Heavenly is a master at this reality show game because she does not give people too much on her. No, that's Contessa. She don't give people too much on her relationship with Dr. Damon. No, that's Jackie. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'm gonna get it together. She don't give too much information on she and Damon's relationship. She kind of keeps, her stuff private, so they don't have any ammunition. So I feel like that's very smart on Dr. Heavenly's part. Um, Heavenly and Contessa, they meet up for the first time, and they totally ignore each other. Um, mm, Then Quiet speaks to Contessa and tries to mend fences between she and Heavenly. She tells Contessa that Heavenly really misses her. Heavenly is really hurt, and I feel like that is the case. I feel like Heavenly was definitely hurt by Contessa, and I feel like my opinion on the Dr. Helen Contessa situation is that yes, Dr. Helen gets on there, and a lot of times Dr. Helen throws shade, but I feel like she feels like if she's a friend, if you know her, that sometimes she's just playing and throwing out that banter, and she's not really being serious. However, people can take it seriously because they don't know your intent. And I feel like she is wanting her friends or some of the people on the show that she's cool with to know, like, I have good intentions. Like, I don't have anything to say. Like, if I joke about you, if I joan you, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I'm just being messy, but we're cool. Um, and I feel like that's how she feels. But the same thing, like with Contessa, girl, you was out. I subscribe to Dr. Heavenly's channel. Contessa, she is definitely on there. She would definitely be on there. She would talk about Toya, talk about, different ladies on there, and had no problem with talking about other people on Dr. Heavenly's platform. But when Dr. Heavenly made mention, which I feel like she just said how she felt like she was being emotionally and, verbally abused. Or maybe Dr. Heavenly could have said, I don't like the way Scott made Contessa feel, and I don't like the way he spoke to her. I just feel like it's way. Maybe she could have said it's too harsh for me, and for my taste, for my friends. So maybe she could have kind of been a little bit more light, but it's just I feel like Dr. Heavenly did the best she could with what she had. So the whole Heavenly Contessa beef, I just wish they could just talk it out, but I'm kind of leaning on the side of Dr. Heavenly on this. I feel like Contessa may be reaching for a storyline and wants to remain relevant because it just seems like I feel like she's being, overly sensitive about the whole thing. And I feel like she's also alluding to the fact that she's still not totally happy. Um, and I feel like Dr. Heaven gave her some solid advice. Like, if you're going to talk about your marriage, if you're going to stay with your husband, stop talking about your marriage. because she doesn't. Dr. Heavenly don't talk about her marriage with everyone. She's gonna stay with Damon, Dr. Damon. So she's not gonna talk about like her issues, especially not on a public platform. So yeah, I feel like I feel like Contessa's being overly sensitive, but I can understand how like we talk about it. I feel like having Contessa's like, well, I could talk. We could talk about other people, but you can't go on there with me because we're cool, and talk about on your platform and talk about other people and talk about me, if that makes sense. But and Contessa also said, putting that out there could cause issues for her husband. So yeah, but I wish she also would have thought about that for last season. Like, if you're gonna have put you and your husband's issues on blast, or even speak, have people tell at the reunion that yeah, we're talking about divorce and how Scott made her feel. You kind of put that out there too. So if anybody could have drew a conclusion um, that he was being mean to her. So I don't know. Contessa says they have spoiled Heavenly, and maybe it may be true, but I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like Dr. Heavenly is probably a good friend. And she's probably the type of person who don't want to hear a whole bunch of back and forth like piss or get off the pot. Like that's she's kind of like that type of person. I believe she's a Scorpio, so I can see why she would kind of have that outlook. She's like, it. Okay, I done heard you cry about this situation way too many times. What you gonna do? You gonna stay with him? You gonna go? And I think that's that's the kind of friend she is. Um, as Quad and Contessa are talking, Anila starts to do her traditional Indian dances, and Simone talks about how Anila doesn't have any rhythm. And I don't think Dr. Simone really has much rhythm, so that's the pot calling the kettle black. But okay. But Anila overall had a nice housewarming, and I'm gonna get these slides together, y'all. I am definitely gonna get these slides together. But I feel like Anila is has a beautiful home. She has a beautiful family. So I really enjoyed seeing her housewarming party. I thought it was very festive. Um, and it was put together. I would have loved to be been at this party. So I'm enjoying to see where this first season, this ninth season of Married to Medicine is going. So yeah, so we're gonna go on to episode two. Episode two was basically starts out with Dr. Heavenly hasn't goes to Dr. Jackie's office saying she hasn't seen her period in 2 months. She also speaks about how when she has sex with Daddy, her it gets dry down there. Honestly, that was TMI. I don't really want to know what Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon got going on in their bedroom. I don't want to hear about Dr. Heavenly's vaginal area. But she said she could be pregnant, and Dr. Jackie was like, "Girl, no, you are premenopausal or perimenopausal, whatever it's called." And she took some blood and sent Dr. Heavenly on her way. And and then Toya goes to Contessa's house. Um, Again, Contessa, she has like this crop top and jeans. Like Contessa has the best shape. She has body yada yada yada. Contessa is a beautiful woman, and I love her. I feel like she's a good person. I could see myself hanging out with Dr. Contessa. She definitely I like her spirit. Um, the thing with her and Heavenly, I think she might be a little sensitive. So yeah. But Toya goes to Contessa's house, and they're talking. That's Contessa right there. So they're talking, and Contessa's daughter calls as Toya come and her sons arrive. That one of the, I think Layla, Dr. Contessa's daughter, calls Toya's sons. One of them is good and one of them is the devil. Kids will say the darndest things. They don't care what comes out their mouth. So I don't know what this little boy did for her to call him the devil, but he definitely did something that that rubs her the wrong way. Um, Contestant and Toya talk about how Heavenly talks reckless on her YouTube channel. Um, and Toya calls Dr. Heavenly a snake, which I don't feel like Dr. Heavenly is a snake. I feel like she's a straight shooter. I feel like if Toya knows that Heavenly, I don't feel like Heavenly don't like Toya. Heavenly has specifically said she don't respect Toya, but it's not like she doesn't like her. So it goes to Anila's bathroom, and let me say, Anila's bathroom, oh my God, beautiful. The faucets, the fixtures, everything was beautiful. This house is immaculately done. I love it. The whole house is bomb. Um, and Mrs. Gomez is helping her, who is Anila's housekeeper, is helping her get ready for get the kids ready for school and stuff like that. And just seeing like what all Miss Gomez was doing, I was like, dang, I need a Mrs. Gomez to help me get my child ready and get him some breakfast and all that kind of stuff. I was like, wow. Um, so I enjoyed seeing that. And then Quad and her family, and just seeing how good Quad is with Mason and just allowing him to talk and express himself. She's really, making him into an emotionally intelligent young man. He spoke about his feelings. He sounded like a little country old man. The way the way he was talking about how loud they were being on the bus, I was like, he just sounded like an old country man. So yeah, I enjoy seeing that. I hope to see more of Quad and Mason. Quad, by the way, she got up, made this boy eggs, got him to school. I'm like, yes, Quad doing it. And look at poor Anila. She need a Mrs. Gomez to get everything done. So yeah, I like to see the juxtaposition between Anila and Quad and how they get their household running. Quad was doing it on her own. Anila need a little bit of help. Hey, to each their own. Um, then we go to Heavenly going to her beauty store to, get things ready for the grand opening. Dr. Jackie's going to have her product, Volition, there. And so it seems like she's, getting things prepared. The store looks beautiful. It looks like a nice, organized beauty supply store because some of the beauty supply stores are a little sketch. Everything is jumbled. You can't find what you need sometimes. So it looked very nice and open. I enjoyed seeing Dr. Heavenly. One day I'll probably try to make it out there to actually go into her store and just take a look around. Cecil then and Simone go on a double date with Miles and his girlfriend Andrea. Side note, Andrea and Miles have now broken up. But keeping with the show, Andrea seems to be very motherly, like with him, with Miles, and Miles seems like he seems very mild mannered, and he probably needs a woman, or he probably would seek out a woman who's more like his mom. So yeah, I think that is going to um, be the type of woman that he would go for. So she was very cute girl, and they talked about Cecil and Simone talked about writing a book about their relationship, the ups, the downs. So I feel like a relationship book is kind of overdone, but get your coin however you can. I get it. Um, then it goes back to Mrs. Gomez. Um, Helping out around the house, making sure the kids are done getting with the thing, getting to bed and stuff. She's getting all the kids to bed, getting things in order. Dr. Karen and Anila come in and find, boxes, and Anila says it's for her blog. Dr. Karen thinks it's just her buying more stuff online shopping. So And then they're going back and forth like a husband and wife does. And he kind of made mention that Anila doesn't like to break down the boxes. So, and I am too guilty of not wanting to break down the boxes. So yeah, I enjoyed watching them do that. And Miss Gomez talks about she wants to move to Houston to be closer with her family. It doesn't appear that Anila and Kieran took it the best, and Anila was more concerned about like who gonna take care of her kids. And like Anila, it's time for you to take care of your kids because she talks about her, blogging a lot, and um, she just don't know what she's gonna do with the time. So I don't know. I don't know if they can find another Mrs. Gomez. I don't know if Anila is just going to have to just suck it up. Then it goes to Heavenly's grand opening. Contessa Simone and Toya ride to the opening together with their husbands, and they talk about Heavenly teaching Heavenly a lesson how she speaks on social media. So I don't know how that's going to work. Dr. Heavenly is not going to take that kindly. So I think that Dr. Heavenly is definitely going to be able to tell them, you know, kind of stand up for herself when they confront her. But I don't like the fact that they want to have this intervention for Heavenly. I think that's messed up. Also, let's see. Dr. Damon shows up to his support to shows up to show his support for Heavenly. And he talks about how proud he is of her. So Dr. Damon is such a nice guy. He's an Omega. He's very supportive of Dr. Heavenly. He loves her. I love to see their relationship together. Now, Dr. Jackie, she talks about her Volition product and that no, that's Contessa. She has she has her product on front and center in Heavenly's grand opening, and she is very proud of her product and wants to expand with Volition. Heavenly greets her guests as she tells, I guess she's going to have a fashion show, so she wants to teach the girls how to walk. Now that was funny to see how how the production went back and showed how Heavenly can't walk in heels. That was just seeing how Evelyn was walking, like her feet was hurting in one of those flashbacks and Quad joning on her. I thought that was hilarious. I saw Miss Juicy Baby. She was there. She made an appearance. Quad had these horns on her head, and she didn't like her hair, and she told her to take her off, which I'm so glad that Quad told them to do that because yeah, it looked a mess. I saw what they were trying to do, but it wasn't working for the girl. So um, Dr. Heavenly, she gets a contract with she gets a contract with what's his name? I forgot his name, but the Wright Funeral Homes in Miami. He has like 25 locations, and I believe he's also in Georgia as well. And she has a contract with him to supply the hair, for the bodies at his funeral home. So that's amazing for Dr. Heavenly Beauty. I think that she was making boss moves. So I like seeing that. Also, Nikki Natural from Love and Hip Hop, she made an appearance. She walked in Dr. Heavenly's fashion show. She looked amazing. She flirted with the guy with the funeral home. She was getting to the bag, so that was cute to watch. They also showed, some other celebrity appearances like Gary with T. He was there. Um, Toya and Contessa arrive, and Contessa talks about how she feels left out when she finds out that some of the girls are walking in the fashion show. Now, in my mind, I'm like, if you and Heavenly are not in the best place, why is it that you think you should be walking in the fashion show? Like, that don't make sense, Contessa. Like, either y'all beefing or you're not. Like, she was like, well, that could have been an olive branch. Like, I need you to be a little bit more mature, Dr. Contessa. It's not that serious. If you wanted to tell Heavenly how she hurt you, you should have called her up because you have the issue. Call her up and let her know y'all friends. And y'all could have talked about it. And then you would have been walking in the show. She had to call you to invite you. So why you didn't say nothing then? So they started the fashion show. They talked. Simone said she wasn't surprised she was in the fashion show because her and Heavenly aren't that close. Jackie walks out with her stripper hair, and from listening to Dr. Heavenly's live, she said Dr. Jackie was supposed to wear another wig, but I think that wig that Dr. Jackie had on was actually meant for Quad, and Quad didn't want to wear that, so Dr. Jackie went on a ward. So she said Jackie was a good sport wearing the wig. Um, I mean, Dr. Jackie looked amazing. Her body is amazing. Her face is when her face is made up is beautiful. Some people can wear just like she just has a elegance about her, and she looks good in anything. So I like Dr. Jackie's look, and I like that she was a good sport about wearing something that she probably would never wear. Um, Miss Quad, she got it. She worked the runway, looked amazing. She walked, she did her thing. Quad could have been a low key model. I, I really, I would love to see Quad doing more modeling, or maybe print or something. Cause she has a nice body, she has a nice face, she has a nice walk. I like Quad. Anila walks in the runway and she's spraying some type of she's spraying some type of hairspray. Dr. Heavenly said that Anila just, wanted to walk. It wasn't something that she asked her to do. She wasn't initially supposed to be in the fashion show. So it was just something that Anila got there and wanted to be a part of it. And she just got in when she fit in. So that was cute. Um, Alora has her, what's it called? It was a blonde wig. What's it called? 913 or something. I'm not sure the numbers, but it was a really blonde wig. Alora looked cute. I can't believe how much Alora has grown since Married to Medicine has been on and Dr. Heavenly has been there. So it's just crazy to see that now she's going in to be a senior in high school and potentially going to FAMU like her mother. So I like to see um, some of these kids make big moves. Of course, Toya hates on Dr. Heavenly contract with the funeral homes and her confessional. But honestly, it's amazing. Toya arrives. She and her crew are wearing Alorum t-shirts, and it says something about beauty. So I'm assuming that's a line that Toya has. Not really familiar with it, but it looks like Toya is doing something in the beauty industry as well. And Contessa's just in her feelings, and she's talking to Toya, and Toya was like, "Well, I can kind of understand why you wouldn't have been in the fashion show because y'all weren't talking." So I don't know what Dr. Contessa's going to do. She's going, according to the preview, she's going to rally the troops together and get the girls on her side, and so she could kind of get her point across, which I still feel like she should have just her and Heavenly have had a close relationship. So I feel like it should have been a one-on-one thing versus let's jump Dr. Heavenly type deal. But again, that's just me. And that's pretty much what happened in episode 2. Overall, I like both episodes. I like where this is going. I love Married to Medicine. So so far this season is really good. I can't wait to see where it goes. Again, I want y'all to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I'm going to be cranking out more content for you all, giving my opinion. This is something I'm just starting, so it's going to get better and better and better the more I do it. I'm so excited to do these reviews. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And again, this is something that to look forward to for me would be Married at First Sight, of course, Married to Medicine, and probably Ready to Love. So we're going to do those, to look forward to getting those. I may come on and just do some different topics that are on my heart. This is just my passion channel to just, share my opinion. So I appreciate each and every one of you all. I love you. Join my tribe. My Instagram is April_D_Harrison. I do intuitive readings, so take advantage of those. From time to time, I may do some card readings on my channel. So I just enjoy doing a whole bunch of spiritual stuff and talk about my journey. So I love you guys. Thank you all for watching again, and have a blessed one. And join my tribe.